we were pushing the gas and it was just taking off, and we would push the gas harder and it would take off further, and push the gas. No matter how hard we pushed the gas, they could sell more products because people wanted them and we had the right tools.
I thought I was being very clever when we titled this week's episode, Search is the New Advertising. And the idea there, of course, was that things are changing, especially during this kind of COVID era. We've been talking about that on a lot of shows, but a lot of customers are sitting at their computers all the time and seeing less advertising and doing a lot more going directly into the browser to find the products that they want and make choices about buying them. And so it really changes the landscape for us in advertising and marketing. And today we have with us a guest named Sarah Whedon, who is right at the center of how to optimize for customers who are doing just that. So Sarah Whedon from Teikametrics, their content marketing manager, welcome to Listen In.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be having this conversation with you today.
Yeah, I was so fascinated, when we first connected, because as a executive creative director in advertising, of course, my brain in the advertising space goes right to, if I'm not careful, all these kind of old-fashioned notions of, what's the television spot and how are we doing the billboards, believe it or not. And that's kind of the way that I think about moving the needle with customers. And I take it that at Teikametrics, you're looking at a lot of other opportunities as you're in the digital space with customers in real time for helping products to do better in kind of this massive landscape of e-commerce like Walmart and Amazon.
Yeah, so our focus is on those marketplaces, Amazon and Walmart in particular. And at Teikametrics, what we are best known for is our flywheel software, which optimizes ads on Amazon for sellers and brands that are selling on the Amazon marketplace.
What sorts of ads are these? How do I encounter as an average consumer? When am I seeing an ad on Amazon that might have been affected by Teikametrics software?
Probably every time that you're using Amazon, there's the potential for that. So Amazon has a number of different ad types. The most foundational ad type is sponsored products. And that is available to sellers on Amazon. So what happens is when a shopper goes to Amazon and they want to make a purchase, they're going to type into the search bar something about what they're searching for, right? And then Amazon's algorithm is going to do its very best to match up that search with products that are available on Amazon and give those as the result. If you think about how many products are being sold on Amazon, that's an enormous number of possible results there for a search for something like kids' shoes. Let's say I'm searching for kids' shoes. I go to Amazon, I type in kids' shoes. So many possible results for that. Only a certain number can show up on the first page. And most shoppers on Amazon are going to make their choice from the results that are on the first page. And so a sponsored product placement can help to get that product onto that first page of results and make it much more likely that a shopper is going to even know that Amazon has got that product available to purchase, let alone then make the purchase. So we really talk about that kind of advertising as basic table stakes on Amazon in order to be able to participate in that marketplace as a seller.
Yeah, definitely. And there was something really fascinating to me that popped into my head as you were describing that, which is like, in my world, advertising you could look at as much more devoted to changing something about the customer's desire in order to bring them around to your product, or the product that of the client that I work for. In other words, I'm tinkering with the emotions of the audience in order to create a desire in them for that product traditionally. And so there's something a lot more direct and arguably honest about, not so much tinkering with the customer as get the algorithm getting them and with the support of Teikametrics software, getting the right product in front of them without a lot of that emotional tinkering. It's really more about how do we bring the right product to them at the right time.
That's a really interesting way to think about it. I mean, definitely it is to Amazon's advantage to figure out what product the shopper actually wants so that that shopper is going to make that purchase. I do think it's actually a little bit more complicated. One piece of that is, so let's say I've typed in kids' shoes. I don't have a brand in mind necessarily. And that's true for a large portion of searches that happen on Amazon. People don't necessarily have a brand in mind. Sometimes they do. We know that they do. But often they have a kind of thing in mind, or they have a problem they need to solve, right? I need a birthday present for my nephew. So I'm going to do a search. I don't know exactly what I want to purchase. I certainly don't have a brand in mind for something like that. And so then the search results are going to come up, but then it is definitely true that a well-recognized brand is going to have an easier time compared to a brand that doesn't have a following and an emotional pull. And
Sorry to interrupt you, but the good news there is I might be able to keep my job. We might still continue to do advertising for big brands in order to create that head start. So anyway, go ahead. Big brands have a little advantage.
Absolutely true. I mean, I'm going to make the argument, right, that it is really important for anybody who is involved in marketing retail products on marketplaces in order to think about search and sponsored placements. But that does go hand in hand with other forms of advertising and brand building. And actually, I mentioned that Amazon has many different kinds of ad types. Sponsored products are kind of the foundational ad type, but they're definitely not the only ad type. They're sort of bottom of the funnel. And further up the funnel, we have increasing opportunities to utilize brand assets and creative on Amazon. So sponsored brands is another form of ad where it's possible to utilize visual or video assets, again, to have those showing up in search results on Amazon, but making use more of that branding.
Yep. So as a field, we're always all tinkering, to find hybrids over time. And it only benefits everyone from sellers to the Amazon marketplace to people that, are in supportive fields like my field of advertising to continue to find a robust mix of things from the search end of the spectrum up to like brand advertising and how can they work together. So that's cool. So you were talking about you've got now a number of different types of ad opportunities inside of that Amazon space, and how does Teikametrics optimize the use of those for anyone from an enterprise size business to more of a mom and pop maker or seller?
So at the core, we have our Flywheel software, which uses data science and AI in order to optimize ads on Amazon. It optimizes the structure of the campaigns and identifies performing keywords and automates bidding, which is an enormous set of calculations beyond what mere mortals can easily handle. And the software, handles that for us. So the software can be used on its own for as little as $59 a month and is utilized by entrepreneurs and small businesses, moving up to more medium-sized businesses. And then as businesses get larger and we're getting into enterprise scale, we also pair that with expert analyst services in order to manage the software and consult on the strategy for the ads.
$59.95. Very nice. Getting the price in. Tell me a little bit more about pricing in this space. Like, what does that mean?
So that pricing is actually really important to us because we know that we do have competitors that we deliberately have created competitive pricing as low as $59 a month to utilize our software in order to make it as accessible to entrepreneurs and small businesses as it is also a resource available to larger businesses that have more capacity.
Tell me about the enterprise scale. Like what's special about, the possibilities of, e-commerce for enterprise businesses?
Enterprise businesses have really complex challenges on marketplaces like Amazon and Walmart. And we have this really brilliant team of e-commerce analysts that strategize and build and optimize the advertising for enterprise needs.
Yeah, I know I saw when I first went to the website, I have an old friend and client who works at Razor, and I was pleased to see Razor up there on the website, and there are a lot of good examples and testimonials there for, the services that you provide to enterprise businesses.
Yeah, we get to work with a number of enterprise businesses that are recognizable names, Brooklinen and Clark's. And we do have several cool case studies up on our website that showcase the results that we've been able to drive working with some of those brands.
Let me take a step back for a second and ask you, how did you personally get into the space that you're in? I found your story, frankly, inspirational. I love to hear about people making a journey through different careers and different paths, to then find themselves at like a place that they really like in their career that may not be what they were necessarily trained for. So share with us a little bit of the insight of how a person might make it into a role like you're in now.
So it is true that I was not necessarily trained for the role that I'm in now. I have a background in academia. I have a PhD in religious studies and women's studies. I've taught college. I have worked as a doula. I've taught doulas. I've worked in the reproductive health space. Even sort of going back further. In time, I've worked as a stage manager. And so one might say that none of that really obviously suggests that I would be a content marketing manager at an e-commerce tech startup. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say though that there is, when I learned that some of that, and some of it I'm getting brand new right now, but like one of the things that occurred to me is that you actually have been on a path of sort of facilitating and, if you will, giving birth, to helping people to have new ideas and figure out what they want to do. And, there's a relationship there, I think, to making it into like being a content marketing manager, where you are basically creating content that will help people to take advantage of the opportunities that are out there for them. Matt, I feel like you peeked at the notes that I took and did not share with you about what I wanted to talk about.
I hope I didn't steal your fire.
That's fantastic. No, that's definitely how I think about it. How the thread that I see running through all of those roles of what I have liked the best about all these roles that I have been in is about understanding a body of knowledge, gathering that information and organizing it and structuring it in a way that creates opportunities for other people to thrive and to shine, whether that's on the stage or in their personal lives as a student or as a business owner. And so definitely as a content marketing manager, I'm creating a lot of educational content that my hope is will help people running businesses to thrive in those businesses.
Yeah, which is really cool. Have you had any, I'm hitting you with this out of the blue a little bit, I think. I don't know if I had it in our show flow, but, have you had the opportunity yet in that role to have any anecdotes of, times at which Teikametrics offering has, helped someone enough that they've sort of shared with you, wow, here's the impact you had on my business or my direction?
Yeah, I mean, we have lots of stories about how we have helped businesses. And the ones that are the most exciting to me and the place where I feel like maybe I have the most impact is in some of those smaller businesses or entrepreneurs, family businesses that can really be dramatically transformed by the resources that we are offering if they take advantage of those resources. For example, a family business that I worked with utilizing our Flywheel software, business run by a couple of generations of a family making some really great recycled plastic products for kids. Really, really wonderful products. When my kids were the right age, if I'd known about them, I would have been really happy to have those products. And by utilizing our software, we were able to really grow their business and grow their profit. And something about a really great combination of a fantastic product, and they also had really great creative. They had really good branding and a really good business model, made it really easy. It felt like if advertising is like a car, we were pushing the gas and it was just taking off, and we would push the gas harder and it would take off further, and push the gas. No matter how hard we pushed the gas, they could sell more products because people wanted them, and we had the right tools in order to optimize that so that it would be profitable for them to continue to do that. And for me, that really feels fantastic to know and have talked with family members who are running this business and to think about how making their business more efficient and more profitable means keeping more money in the pockets of those business owners, which means supporting that family to thrive. That feels amazing that we're able to provide resources for them to be able to do that.
That's really great to hear. And I'm so glad that you put it that way, because I think it's easy with modern businesses and products that are so naturally now in our technologically advanced world, rooted in AI and listening tools and data science. It's easy for us to lose perspective on the human element, and one of the things that I was thinking about is, even aside from the passion that you clearly feel for your role in the space, I was thinking about how, in a way, Teikametrics' offering is for the modern market, which is getting increasingly digital, no different in some ways metaphorically than when presumably the technology of great sign making evolved, and someone taught someone else, hey, you can laminate gold leaf onto glass and create a sign for your name that more people will look at, and they'll come into your business, and that we look at as a craft now, and we go, oh, there's like all kinds of human energy in that, and I want to see a documentary about a sign maker. And yet, in a way, Teikametrics is doing the same thing, but just at the digital storefront, at the e-commerce storefront, it seems like to me.
I mean, I think I'm with you in wanting to always be looking for the human elements of any business, right? A business is partially, significantly made up of spreadsheets and data analysis and the bottom line and all of that. But it's also people who are analyzing that data. And it's people who are making decisions about it. And it's people who are going to be, if we're talking about retail products, people who are going to be utilizing those products and having an experience of the product. And so through all of that, I'm always looking for what is the human story and what is the human impact. That really is compelling to me.
Yeah, I can feel it. Hey, where does the name come from, Teikametrics?
Oh, yeah. So Teikametrics is a combination of two Japanese roots. So Te means decide or determine, and Ka means value. And then when they're put together, it means market price. And then metrics, of course, is about measurement, and it's that English root. And so taken together, the name Teikametrics is about measurement in order to determine value of business decisions, to determine value of a particular keyword for search, to determine the value of a bid. It's cool that it's this combination of two different cultures coming together in the word, sort of representative of the creativity of the business. And Teikametrics is a business that is headquartered in Boston. It started in Boston, but it really is global now. When I joined Teikametrics, I don't think we had 100 people. We're now pushing up toward 200 people. And we're not just in Boston, we're in India and China and Israel and all over the United States. During the pandemic, we've moved toward this remote first model. And it means that we are really a global company now.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit more about what's on the horizon in terms of incorporating assets like video or other elements like that?
So marketplaces like Amazon and Walmart, they're growing really quickly and they're innovating rapidly as well. And on the example of Amazon, there are a number of newer ad products and other brand building opportunities that Amazon has been rolling out. So sponsored products is the foundational ad type for sellers on Amazon, but there's also sponsored brands, which can utilize visual and video. There's also Amazon's DSP, which serves ads on Amazon and also off of Amazon. And those are taking advantage of creative assets. That's actually an ad type that is available not just to businesses that sell on Amazon, but to brands, to any brands. And what's really interesting about that ad type is that it is utilizing all of the marketplace data that Amazon has access to in order to target the ads, and then utilizing the brand creative. So at Teikametrics, our analysts handle the data and planning parts there of DSP campaigns. And then this is getting back to the, our jobs can go hand in hand here, or advertising, more traditional forms of advertising, and the kinds that we're working with go hand in hand because we need to have those creative assets in order to utilize the DSP. Amazon has been experimenting with social media-like programs on Amazon.com. So Amazon has got Amazon Posts, which looks a lot like Instagram, but it is for brands that are selling on Amazon. It's got Amazon Live, which looks a lot like the Home Shopping Network or YouTube Live, and again, is available for brands that are selling on Amazon. And these are opportunities for brands to develop their brand presence on Amazon and to interact more with their customers. Also with Amazon Live, there's a live chat opportunity. So utilizing those social formats that shoppers are really comfortable with in terms of thinking about shopping. We're used to seeing ads on Instagram and discovering products there. And so now Amazon is experimenting with, well, what if it looks like Instagram, but you're on the shopping site, the marketplace, Amazon.com, so you don't have to go anywhere else. But there's all of this creativity around the nexus between marketplaces and social media, and all of that. I talk about that creativity as sort of technical creativity or program creativity, but it requires the creativity of advertising because it's all really media rich opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah. And, even if it weren't that it incorporated what we recognize as much more creatively challenging assets to make, like videos and ads and display ads and things like that. I'm intrigued by the idea that there is always creativity in business because we're always basically, as makers and sellers of products, trying to figure out how to get the edge and bring this product that we believe in to as many people as possible and make the sale, right? And it is a fact of life in all areas of our life that more and more of those transactions have been moving from the physical world and into the digital world. And so it strikes me like my wife has a brick and mortar business in a little town near here called La Cañada. And I've watched her, struggle with all the struggles that brick and mortars have. But one of the things that really impresses me about the work that she's doing from a different direction is she's creating more and more of a hybrid digital and physical business, partly in response to COVID, by, creating lock boxes outside on this large patio that she has so that people can order stuff online and then pick it up, when they go to the physical location, and transactions can occur in a safer and more distanced way, et cetera. But it's, at its core, it's a mix of digital and physical hybrid. And so what I see Teikametrics doing and businesses like it in the e-commerce space is essentially providing all of those opportunities for niche kind of advantages, places where you can take your business as a seller and take advantage of an opportunity with an algorithm or an opportunity with a particular ad unit to make yourself stand out. And so I guess what I'm coming around to is it's not fundamentally different than looking at like a city block in La Cañada that is, Amazon being the city block of La Cañada is trying to, create businesses that thrive and generate tax funding, an income for them. But they're ultimately basically trying to create a marketplace and give all of the sellers in it a variety of opportunities to succeed. And Teikametrics is there, helping businesses to take advantage of that. So I don't know. What do you think? Too much of a stretch?
I think that what you just described of what your wife's business is doing, starting off brick and mortar and then developing something that's more hybrid, is part of an enormous trend. Walmart has been a part of this trend where Amazon has incredible online resources and is maybe looking at some more offline opportunities. Walmart has started with an incredible brick and mortar presence and then built Walmart.com. And they are really seeing, particularly during the pandemic, a surge in movement toward hybrid or omni-channel shopping, which looks often like shopping online and then doing curbside pickup, which it sounds like that's very similar to what your wife is doing with her business. So that's part of a big trend. I think it's one that's going to continue to evolve.
Yeah, and I think that we'll be working hand in hand, the advertising world and the search world, inside of e-commerce, to find the best way to bring customers the products that they want at the right time to, help enhance and improve their lives, right?
I think that's absolutely right. Yes.
Well, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to have you on the show.
It's been really fun to do. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we'll have to come back together in maybe a year or more and see how this rapidly changing field of e-commerce, what its new opportunities it's presented and how Teikametrics and others are helping people take advantage of it.
That would be really interesting to do. One of the things that's fun for me about doing this work, because I am a learner, I enjoy learning. Things are constantly changing. There are constantly new things to learn. And my experience is that this landscape is just so rapidly changing that a conversation in a year, it'd be so interesting to compare a conversation in a year to this conversation now. What are the things that we're talking about as trends have actually continued for another year? And I'm sure there will be new things that we're not predicting now that we would be able to talk about in a year.